You don't have to wait until it's cold and flu season to start boosting your immune system. I'm going to show you how to do it with a few simple items and a few simple ingredients. This is the Urban Sentinel. Let's get into it. Alright, so today we're going to be fermenting. We're going to do some garlic, ginger, turmeric, and we're going to ferment these in honey. Now, the key thing that you need to remember is it needs to be raw, unfiltered honey, not processed, not additives, no preservatives, no high fructose corn syrup, just honey, because the honey itself contains the necessary properties and bacteria that you'll need that'll help benefit your immune system along with these other ingredients. So now the first thing you want to do is get your garlic. We're going to start with this, and we're going to do garlic and honey in one of these jars, and then we're going to do turmeric and ginger in the second jar. So I'm going to start peeling the garlic and breaking apart the cloves. You get the outer layer off. You start working with the individual cloves. Now you can, if you want to, crush them up. I'm going to be putting them in just as they are into the jar that way. What that does, if you crush them or if you puncture them with a knife or fork, it lets the chemical properties, the allicin that's inside, which is part of the whole beneficial package that garlic presents in your body, it allows that to permeate faster into the honey as it ferments. But since this is going to take a while, it'll have plenty of time to absorb and soak into the honey itself without having to go through that process. But again, it's a personal choice, and it also depends upon how much you're actually going to be putting in. Right now I've just got one bulb. I still have two others on standby. And I'm going to look to see how much it actually fills up within the jar that I'm using, because that's the other thing you have to gauge is how big is the container that you're using in relation to specifically the amount of honey that you have. So let's say you had a 10-ounce jar of honey and you've got a 30-ounce container. You're not going to have enough honey to do it properly, because you don't want to have a large volume of air inside the jar once it's all done. But that's a step that we'll get to a little bit later on. And yet there are other ways to do this faster. The first way is to actually do it off camera beforehand, so that way it's magically done like they do in those cooking shows. You can also take the cloves and put them in between two metal bowls and give them a little crush up, and then that'll help loosen the skins off of it, making it easier for you to separate it at that point. Or you can do like I'm doing and think about, oh gee, maybe I should have done that beforehand and saved a little bit of time. And through the magic of modern media, 3 hours later. No, it didn't take that long, maybe about 8 to 10 minutes total. So now I've got all 3 cloves in here, all 3 bulbs of garlic in here, cloves all peeled. So now the next step, actually the easiest one, is you're going to be adding in the honey. Now the key thing to note, you want to use glass. Don't use plastic. Don't use some type of biodegradable or bio-friendly type of material that some of these newer containers are made out of, so that way when you dispose of them, they're friendlier for the environment. Use glass, no chemicals in it. Make sure that it's clean, that it's dried out, let it air dry out. You don't have any detergent residue or anything else like that in there. Same thing with the lid. Make sure the lid's clean and dry. You don't want any extra moisture in, because what's going to happen is once you start adding the honey in, everything is going to start to gel together. It's going to take a little while. It won't be instantaneous. But when you watch the honey go in, you'll see that it's relatively thick. Start pouring it in. Now, I'm going to hold off right to here, just so I can get a better shot. See, there's still a lot of gaps in there. Try to move it around some. What you want to be able to do is not fill the entire thing up. And let some of this air move around. Because what will happen is, once this all starts to settle, it's getting down in there, I'm probably only going to bring it up to just about the shoulder of the jar for two primary reasons. Is one, as the cloves that are in here begin to soften and loosen up, the moisture that's inside them is going to mix in with the honey, and the honey is going to be less viscous. It'll be more watery, more liquidy, and that's going to start taking up space. In addition, you're going to put the cap on, close it up, seal it up nice and tight, but you're going to alternate its position, basically turning it upside down every day, flipping it back over, and then burping the top, and I'll show you that in a second as well. Let me just add last little bit because some of these cloves are sticking up. Bring it up to the level that I wanted it at. Take a spoon, just pack it down. They do have small glass weights, almost like a paperweight, that you could put down if it's the right diameter and fit it in here to kind of sit on top to help ensure that the cloves stay down. I don't have that. And you don't want to just stick anything in there. You obviously want to make sure that it's food grade safe to begin with, but it's also not going to affect the quality of the honey and the fermentation process. So I would honestly say if you don't have something like that, don't bother with it, because you don't want to put something in there because it's got to ferment for a while. You don't want something leaching into the process, into the honey, affecting the taste, the quality, and end up spoiling the entire thing. Get it down in there. Get a little bit more. All right, so now, that is good. So the lid's on, and what I mean is, as it is right now, everything's in here, everything's going to settle. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, and what I'm going to be doing is when I put it in today, I'm going to put it in upside down, allowing the cloves to redistribute. As you can see, they're already starting to move. Some of them are sitting up at the top. They'll loosen up, drop back down. Then the next day, I'm going to take it out, and then I'm going to burp this, which basically is just unscrewing the lid, taking it off, allowing it to basically release the gases that are building up in here, because it's going to happen very slowly. You're going to repeat that process at least 5 days. So today being Wednesday, I'm going to do it for the next 5 days, putting it in upside down, letting it sit, taking it out, burping it. Then when I put it back in, right side up, let it sit, pull it out the day after that, burp it, repeat the process over and over. What will happen is the cloves will start getting softer, they'll be releasing more of their moisture, and natural levels of bubbles will start to form. That's an indication that the fermentation process has begun. At that point, leaving it in the fridge, letting it sit in there, staying nice and cool, and let it do its thing for a couple of weeks. I would say, honestly, based upon everything that I've seen, for this small amount, probably at least 3 weeks, definitely. And then there's going to be a color change. It's going to go from this lighter color to looking more darker through the whole entire process. The garlic cloves themselves will also begin to look darker as well. So again, the whole point in doing this is it's a natural way to boost your immune system. The honey by itself has good antibacterial properties and also helps with your internal gut balance, as well as does the garlic. I mean, between these two, once it's been fermented, even just having one garlic clove a day can help bring your system up, help regulate your system, make it a little bit more resilient. It's good for warding off zombie viruses and vampires as well. Technically, no, but it does. So that's what this does. Fermented garlic in honey. Keep it in your fridge, keep it on hand. Like I said, after it's been fermented and it's good to go after a few weeks, 1 clove a day. Some people mix it in with other things that they have. I figure, you get a clean spoon, dip it in, take one, and you're good to go. That's it for this one. Next video coming up, it's going to be the honey and ginger and turmeric as well. Syrup and Sentinel. I'll catch you in the next one. And I just remembered, I said I was going to show you both of these in this video, so buckle up. We've got the other half coming up right now. Alright, we are back like we never left. So I've got some fresh ginger and some fresh turmeric. It's going to be the same process. I'm going to cut these up, put them into the jar, add what's left of this honey, and then maybe I might not even need to go to this one here. But we'll see what happens. Now, as far as the ginger goes, this one looks good to go. There was nothing wrong with it. You always want to check just to make sure there isn't some type of rot or spoilage going on, but that goes to without saying for anything in general. I'm not going to peel it because I'm not going to be dicing it up. If I were, then I would definitely use a grater, but I'm going to be cutting it up into small chunks. And then same with the turmeric, I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm just going to be cutting it up into small chunks and then adding it into the jar and then putting the honey in with it. Now, unfortunately, I do not have any fresh lemon because I was going to add lemon in with it, but I'm just going to stick with putting the ginger and the turmeric in. I may not use all of the turmeric because it can be a little overpowering as well. Let's split this little butt end. Snap this off. Get this little guy going. Most likely, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Probably use 2 of these. Look at that color. Oh, and side note, when you do grate these, if you've got a little like cheese and vegetable grater, stuff like that, it's going to stain whatever it is that you're rubbing up against this kind of bright orange. So be prepared to, number one, wash it right away so it doesn't set in, and make sure that you don't leave it on, effectively speaking, any type of material, open surface that you don't want stained, because that'll happen, and it'll happen real quick. Not that I have experience with that, I'm just saying that's what I've heard. You know what? All 3. Live it up, why not? Alright, so I'm going to do a couple of the turmeric first. Get those in. Actually, I'm going to try this one out. First time on camera. Add a little bit of honey in. Start dropping in some of the ginger. A little bit more. More turmeric. It's definitely more ginger than turmeric, so I'm not really worried about, not trying to create a decorative layer. I just figured, see if this works out a little bit better, but the ginger itself is heavier than the garlic cloves were. Trying to make a little space. Definitely should have done the larger chunks first, but live and learn, live and learn. Yeah, that is working out quite well. I only opened up this one. That one's still sealed, so I can save that if I get another set of jars, and I can do more later on. Root Jenga, trying to pack it in. Go. This went a little bit higher. My eyeballing from directly above it wasn't as accurate, so that one's on me. So I'm not going to add any more in of the honey. I've got these extras. I'll figure out something to do with them. And this lid is a canning lid, so it actually separates. So what will happen is they'll end up creating a seal with the ring and the cap. So when you go to burp it, if you're using that type, you're more likely going to unscrew the ring and then still have to pry the seal off. So you want to make sure clean hands, clean environment. So when you put the seal back in, the cap back in, and seal it up rather, you're not going to put any contaminants into it. And here we have the ginger and turmeric. And it's going to be the same principle. It's going to be putting it in the refrigerator, inverting it, taking it out the next day, popping the cap, letting the gases out, closing it back up, sticking it back in. So I can basically use these for the same amount of time in preparation. So I'll keep an eye on both of them, have them in the refrigerator, and then at that point I'll be able to have the fermented ginger and the turmeric, which also too, if you know of the Korean tea, Citron tea, it's essentially just this ginger in honey with a citrus. It'll be along the same general lines of consistencies, so you'll be able to actually scoop out the more less viscous liquid that's in there and put that into your mug, and then add in some hot water, and you're good to go with a nice herbal type tea ready to have, ready to use. So between the garlic and honey and then the ginger, turmeric, and honey, this will be something that'll be added in the pre-post-apocalyptic, SHTF scenario to have on your shelves in your storage areas to keep ready just in case. And like I said before, it's an immune booster. It's not a medical miracle cure. Always seek medical attention. I say that because I don't want YouTube to flag the video for giving out medical information and all that sort of stuff. But it's something to help your body stay healthy, become healthier, along with obviously regular exercise, eating right, that sort of thing. Now this, at this point, is the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Click on this next video that hopefully YouTube will show you of mine to say, hey, check this one out. And then I will definitely catch you in the next one.